What is happening in the world, man? This is so messed up. So I see this tweet from Whole Mars Catalog. Child labor found throughout Hyundai Kia supply chain in Alabama. Full context, this Twitter account usually talks about like Tesla news. So that's the context. But anyways, there's this article, as you can see here, from Reuters. Child workers found in at least 4 Alabama parts suppliers to Hyundai and Kia in recent years. Reuters found staffing agencies placed migrant minors in plants where regulations ban kids from working. State and federal authorities are investigating. It reminded me of news I saw the other day. Here's that article from the Associated Press from the AP, December 6th. Judge orders slaughterhouse cleaners not to hire minors. In some cases, the kid looked as young as like 13 years old, they say, to clean like the blood from the animals that are slaughtered, like the factory parts that they use to slaughter animals. They got children cleaning that stuff, dude. There was even a report that the kid was getting complaints from the teacher because he was so tired in class because he's busy cleaning up animal blood, like after school. It's crazy stuff, man. So all that stuff is crazy. You expect the United States to be a bit better when it comes to child labor, and you might not be so surprised to see this one. Modern day slavery in the Congo. Big European corporation behind it. They take children, put a bunch of like heavy materials on their head, force them to like walk it over and work like that all day. Now I will make a caveat here. I understand different countries and different cultures have different ways of operating, and holding them to the standards of the US may be a flawed system of logic. That said, I'll compare it to Thailand, actually, because as someone who trains Muay Thai, I'm very familiar with Thailand and how popular Muay Thai kickboxing is in Thailand, and the fact that they got like 6, 7, 8-year-olds training and fighting in Thailand. Here's a big distinction, though. One, whenever I see clips of these kids in Thailand fighting and training, they seem happy, like they're willingly doing it. Big difference between being forced to work in a mine all day. Two, in Thailand, Muay Thai kickboxing is like a very important cultural thing, and that's something to look into more on your own if you want. So in closing, you may have also seen a segment I ran a month ago talking about Democrat and Republican politicians who were caught up on child exploitation charges and or had a campaign staffer working that had such crazy stuff going on. I'll link that segment in the description if you want to see it. I'm actually really happy that segment got so many views because that's a real risky topic to talk about on YouTube, to be quite frank. And that video did way better than I expected. And I think that was an important video to get that information out there. Excuse me. I don't do great covering topics like this, in my opinion. These are very dark, disturbing topics that make me a bit upset, so I don't do my best coverage on them. Maybe I get a bit too emotional, though I'm trying to hold it back. But in closing, I will also say, you know, all these people talking about lolly stuff all the time, it's crazy, man. It's like, I get it if you don't like NSFW lolly stuff. I get it. But you never see those people talking about like the actual stuff going on with kids. It's crazy. Like there's so much terrible stuff going on to kids across the world. And oftentimes these anti-lolly people, they just never talk about that stuff ever, but you know, they'll talk about lolly all the time. Sometimes when I raise that point, people respond to me saying, well, you can talk about both. Sure, you can, but they don't. They never talk about the actual problems in the world about kids. And as someone that actually researches such and keeps up to date with that sort of news, to the best that I can, because again, this topic does upset me greatly and I find it very dark and disturbing, so I don't look into it too much, because if I do, it destroys my mental state and I get very black-pilled for the world. But you know, even that aside, I do try to keep up to date with as much of this as I can handle, and it's very disturbing stuff, so I'll end it there. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the comments and in the next segment.